This is the Baseus A2 Pro rechargeable car vacuum cleaner. So I received this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, the MSRP is about $50. I've seen it on sale for as low as $32. They haven't paid me for my review, so my opinions remain my own. Okay, in the box we have a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a little warranty card, the instruction booklet, a couple of different nozzles here, and a kind of brushy nozzle here which looks like can snap back into a bigger nozzle. And then we have the vacuum unit itself here. So we have a protective plastic bag. And here is the vacuum. It has a USB-C charging port, looks like an air outlet there. It has a filter here, and then it has a place here for these various things to just plug in. It looks like it's just a friction fit that plugs in there. This guy has a different attachment. It looks like it goes in the back, so I think that's actually for blowing, to blow dust out of things, for example. So it looks like your vacuum options here are the wide kind of, crevice tool, and then you slide that forward and you have a brushy tool. Alright, to remove the dust bin, you twist it, pull off, and the filter stays in the bin. You can pull this filter out. They say you should wash it off, and you can put it back in when it's completely dry. In here, there's a little flap that kind of keeps things from falling back out that hole, but when you turn on the vacuum pressure, that rubber flap will move in. This unlock icon right up near that little dot for everything to line up, and then you twist it like that and it locks in place. Now to turn it on, you push and hold the power button, and then if you want to go to high power, you push the top button. To go back to low power, you push the top button again. To turn it off, you turn it off. So it has a blow pipe here for blowing things around. So it can work as a kind of portable air blower. Theoretically, you could just vacuum straight off with this thing here, or you can attach this guy and use the brush or just the long kind of crevice there. I don't know if there's going to be any real advantage to using this end over just the hole here. The shape looks to be basically the same, except for the extra reach that you might get to go deep into crevices. Alright, let's do a suction height test with this bit of salt. Now we're going to start picking up larger and larger clumps of raisins. Alright, to empty, we undo that. We have to pull the filter out, and then you drop things out. Alright, let's give this guy a shot on the actual floorboards of a car. Alright, you can definitely see some dust and dirt that's collected in there. Not a giant pile of things, but especially around the filters where it's collected. it does a pretty good job of picking up anything on this surface. I don't know how well it's like getting deep dirt out of there, but all the little stuff that you can see on the surface, it's pretty much picked all that stuff up. All right, so that got a decent amount of the surface material off of my car floor mat. You can see, you know, it picked up a decent amount of dust and a lot of the little grasses and so forth that are very visible. So it does a decent job. Obviously, it's not a giant, super powerful vacuum like you'd get at a car wash, but for a quick little pickup jobs, it's doing pretty good here. So this brush here is helpful to kind of disturb dust and then it sucks it in. I've found that if you pull this way, it always works. If you push on it, every so often this thing will snap that lock and pop back. So it's not latching. It latches pretty well, but if you push on it a bit too hard, it'll pop back and you're just left with this end here. So it's obviously not going to compare in suction power to a real serious portable vacuum. You know, something like this is just going to be a lot more powerful than this guy, but it also costs probably 5 to 10 times more. You know, so this has some suction, but it's not comparable to a Dyson. So this guy's good for small spot cleaning pickup jobs. It's a little big for me to keep it in my compact car, but if you had a 3-row minivan with cup holders all over the place, I could certainly see leaving one of these in the back for the kids. They spill something, you're just like, all right, vacuum it up, kids. You know, so something like that, I could see this being very useful to have around. Things don't really drop out around that rubber gasket. The rubber gasket does a pretty good job of keeping stuff inside of this bin until you dump it. And they say this is a reusable filter. You can clean it with water. They do say you should not reinstall it until it's completely dry. So I'm going to leave this filter out and dry it out and so forth. It's got some dust and dirt in there, but if I hit it with a sprayer, I'm getting all of those things out of the crevice. So the water certainly didn't seem to harm the filter at all there. I'm going to just let this dry out, air dry. Alright, one design choice. This thing is a cylinder and it will roll. And it doesn't really have any protrusions that prevent it from rolling. So it'll just keep rolling till it falls off of something. So you need a cup holder or something to keep it in, to keep it from just kind of rolling all over the place. And having this guy on doesn't help that. Let's see if you plug this guy in. Yeah, so it's going to roll. You need to keep this in a cup holder or in a groove or a drawer, basically to keep it from moving around on you. While you're charging, you can take this thing off and leave it like that. Or if a cable's plugged in, the cable will probably keep it from going too far. Alright, this guy has a USB-C charging port. Will it do power negotiation with a USB-C power delivery charger? And yes, it does do power delivery negotiation, so you can plug in any cell phone charger and this guy will work with it just fine. It's charging here 5 volts at 0.8 amps currently, although the amperage is ramping up now. Okay, it's finished ramping the amperage up. It's drawing basically 1.9 amps. It's 1.84 amps, so it's charging at about 9 watts. Alright, this guy will stand upright if you just set it there on its end, but for the runtime test, I am going to have it on its side like this, because I don't want to impede the airflow coming out of here. So we're going to just turn this guy on at its high power setting and see how long it goes. This guy just flipped over to 220. here we go. Alright, that put the battery pretty much all the way down. When I pushed and held the button, it didn't start the motor, but it did do this flashing light that says, "Hey, please charge me." Okay, we're going to charge it back up, keep track of how much power goes in, and get an idea of the battery capacity. Now, it doesn't feel too warm to the touch. It's had a couple minutes since it turned off to cool down, but it's not like it got super hot running continuously. Okay, this die is done charging. It's drawing 0 amps. And let's take a look at how many watt hours it took to charge it up. Alright, it says it took 31 watt hours to charge up. It has a capacity somewhere, 25 to 30 watt hour capacity on the battery. And that is in line with this running for the amount of time it ran on an 80 watt motor.